I'll tell you that throughout this series. Understanding the thought behind the names of the business has been one of the mind and eye-opening thing,
And I told him about the real estate company in Nigeria and how it's growing and how interior design was growing in Nigeria. At the time, I wasn't so sure that interior design was huge.
Right.
So I started to do my research. After I applied to design school, because I went to design school in Florence, Italy. It's called Florence Institute of Design. An interior designer would decorate, but an interior decorator will not design.
That's for my own knowledge. So I just learned something today.
So I have a connection with airports. Besides the fact that the project is a big scope and profitable, it's somewhere people go to every day. And if I can put my name on, an airport, I'll be proud of myself.
You're very deep.
I'm deep.
Very, very deep.
When it's designed like that, I just talk because I wasn't really good at other things in school. I wasn't good at math, science. This is what I do. I was really good at design in school.
I'll come and intern with you. Sean, I'm cutting though.
I can't afford you. I can't afford you guys.
I need to move over.
It's internship, so it's free of charge.
Free internship.
In your home, what other space is your favorite place to design?
Walk-in closets.
Closet.
Walk-in closets. I've designed a closet had a bed before because.
Wait, hold on. A
I
bed?
A bed. No, from the client. The client said they wanted a bed and I embraced it. And then the bed was smaller than their
normal bed, right?
Now.
Hello everyone, this is another episode of Design Diaries, and I'm Shewan Dibaya, and we have Lolade as well here, and we have the honor of having one of, we've had women all this time. We thought to spice it up and have a man this time around. In a female-dominated industry, he's a man that is doing big things. And when I say big things, I know what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Olakunle Balogun.
Very like that intro. I can get used to that.
That's good. It's good.
You. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. And we're just gonna have a good chat, I believe.
Okay, sounds good.
So we're just gonna start off. HOA Interiors, that's what your business is called.
Yes.
We're just wondering what was the thinking behind that name and how did it come about? How did you start? What was it like?
HOA stands for House of Assembles.
Oh.
I came up with that name even before design school. Yeah, because I was so eager to go to design school.
Okay.
I had planned it in my head while I was in grad school in America.
Right.
So HOA Interiors, HOA is House of Assembles. It means that assembling things together, even ideas, not just materials, not just accents. So anywhere we design, we like to we leave you with the phrase that we've delivered you a house of assembles. So it doesn't have to be a home, it doesn't have to be a commercial, it can be anything. So whatever we touch has become a house of assembles, a house of things put together.
I'll tell you that throughout this series. Understanding the thought behind the names of the business has been one of the mind and eye-opening thing. It's interesting.
We're always deep with it. So I decided to move back to Nigeria in 2014.
Right.
That's when I decided what I wanted to do, because I like comfort, so I was fine where I was. But I decided that I was good at design. I started with decorating.
Right.
And that is something totally
Different, yes.
And so I decided that I wanted to research schools for design when I knew that this is what I wanted to do. At the time I was in grad school, I was doing an MBA.
Okay.
And for me, traditional school has always been boring. I've always never just done it because that's what everybody's doing. That's what the parents paid for. And I now told my parents, the family business is politics. Okay. I'm the only one who chose a different path.
Oh, I see. Oh, yes. I met your brother.
My brother, everybody, my father, politics. It's me and my mom that just backed out of politics.
I see.
You know, so the tradition was come back home
and join.
Get into the game.
After NYSC, post you to the Senate, you can work for one senator. Yes. Then from there, you build your career. But me, I told my dad, look, I'm researching design schools in Italy. My dad, being my dad, was like, I'll take that school. He thought it was fashion.
Oh, right.
He said the joke about Olakunle Balogun, fashion. Once he heard design, he said, no. He even got it wrong. He said he's going to Paris to do fashion. I said, that's not what it is. And I told him about the real estate company in Nigeria and how it's growing and how interior design was growing in Nigeria. At the time, I wasn't so sure that interior design was huge. Right. So I started to do my research. After I applied to design school, because I went to design school in Florence, Italy. It's called Florence Institute of Design. Right. It was a very interesting experience, but I'll take you back to prior to going there. So it was business school. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I was eager, and that's when I started the conversation with my parents. Look, me, I'm not coming back to Nigeria for the politics or the NYC that you say someone should do. I'm supposed to, you know. I said that I was going to learn design, and that period I started to research, and I was quite impressed. I didn't know what I was coming to. I just knew that every time I come to Nigeria over the Christmas while I was there, I just saw that people are paying attention to details. Our restaurants started to look good. You know, even the social houses started to look really nice. And I was like, okay, this is different. This is what I want to do. And I started to research, and I stumbled on this show. It was called Made by Design.
Oh, okay.
It was a YouTube series whereby contestants, every episode was a design task, and the winner had to be sponsored scholarship who are brought to learn design. I was so impressed. You know, I was like, this is happening. This is happening, and I thought I was alone. And it just was very refreshing. And I said, this is what I must do. I'm going to come back. I'm going to make my mark. I'm going to contribute to the growth of, you know, the industry. The presenter of the show, because I admired people that started this before me. Anywhere I go, I shout them out because they gave me hope to come back and do this. So the presenter of the show is a designer called Titi Fora.
Okay.
She really did a good job mentoring the
upcoming ones.
The upcoming ones, and I was like, okay, good. Now I feel at home. This is what I'm going to do, and so I moved back. The interesting part is I was so eager to start my company that I launched it while I was still in school.
Right.
So the summer prior to me graduating, I graduated in December, so the summer prior to that, I launched the company. And when I did a couple of projects, while I was taking my last set of finals, I did a couple of projects, 2 residencies, 1 commercial, a restaurant called 355 Lounge.
Okay.
So that restaurant was really popular because there were not many Nigerian-owned designers and restaurants at the time. It's usually run by the, you know, who.
Yes.
So, you know, that made me just straightforward. It was kind of overwhelming that everybody was rushing me. I was
so
just.
These people gave you projects without even seeing your work.
Well, you see, I came back at a time where people in that age group could afford my services.
Okay.
And we were in the same circle.
Right.
So that was also a good
friends,
thing.
family,
so it was, it was friends. These are people who we knew from high school and had moved back to do great things with their careers. So we uplifted ourselves and said, you know, and they were impressed with the whole, you're doing this. It's not many guys are doing this. Although there's few guys that started before me, you know. Shout out to Andrezini, Anderson.
Right.
But I was like the first few.
Yeah, amongst the guys.
Amongst the guys.
We have more women in that
There's
space.
more. Even and I picked up a mentor, by the way, for the business aspect of things.
Okay.
Her name is Ifeanyi Godalo.
Oh, right. That's a real OG there.
She's an OG. So while I was doing my research, I found out her career. I found out she was she was my friend's auntie.
Okay.
And I said, I need this introduction. I admire her so much. I told her my story. I told her my goals, and she walked me through stuff.
That's
Right?
amazing.
She walked me through stuff. The business side, she taught me how to price myself. She taught me the invoicing. She taught me how to network. So she brought me into the Interiors Designers Association of Nigeria. He said, "Oh, this is what you have to do. Apply, pay yearly, and then you may try." I know everybody in the industry now. And then, I saw her recently and started to joke. I said, Olakunle, you're my mentor now. The roles have switched. I see what you do, But it's been good so far. I'm glad I did this here because the idea was to go to Florence, either go back to America and do it in America. But I found out that it works in Nigeria and it was so refreshing. This is 11 years ago. Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sure there will be more fulfillment doing it back here than you would have had if it was back in America.
Of course.
Absolutely.
And there's this feeling you get when you service your own people.
Right.
And interior designers thrive on feedback. So that feedback, one of my architects said, he's a very smart guy. He says, the feedback is even better than the balance that we collect. I said, no, not really. You still need it, but that feedback is what, and then sometimes when you just get in and you start a project from start to finish, and you just hear that thank you, or this is amazing, this is this.
Like bringing their dreams to life.
And then when it's in, and you're doing this in Nigeria, it just makes you, it's a satisfaction.
Yeah,
nice. That's a lovely story.
That's the short version. I gave you the short version.
So when it comes to your design style, how would you describe your style? And then also your clients. Do you have an ideal client or?
Well, so for me sometimes I get cocky. I like to say I'm very versatile. There's no space I can't design. Commercial, retail, just give me an open space. So for me, it varies. For some reason, it's just changes from time to time. It started with homes. Now I don't look forward to designing homes.
Really?
I still like it. However, currently, it's retail. So stores that sell luxury items.
Okay.
It used to be baby rooms. Funny enough. It used to be baby rooms within a home. My company has done a lot of stuff, including a casino.
Okay.
But the ideal client, the interior designers look forward to not engaging their clients too much throughout the project. You want the brief, and then you want the client to trust you.
Yeah.
That is the la la land
type of client.
type of thing. But the ideal client is one that just trusts you. You want to be trusted. That way, once you say, this is how I'm going to guide you on safety, and because you design based on their taste.
Yes.
However, you still take your approach in terms of the mood board and executing certain things. So interior designers let me just speak for myself. I like to put my own spin and a signature. That way, I'm the one that did it. So we have a certain signature. We deal with shapes and symmetry.
Right.
So I'm guilty of suggesting that.
So you sort of lead them
to where I want to be, and then the good thing is they always say that's great.
Yeah.
That's the goal. You tell them your style, you tell them your approach, and they're fine with it. So we deal with symmetry and uniformity in our approach. It's the Italian approach to design, but we kind of use a touch of.
So have you Nigerianized that Italian
Yes,
approach?
I have.
Okay.
We have products that have Nigerian names.
Okay.
We have furniture pieces that have Nigerian names.
Right.
And it varies on different spaces. I like to design restaurants as well, because I like the bar aspect of the restaurants is usually the challenging aspect, but we like to challenge ourselves. So the backdrop is usually exciting, the lighting, I like to do those. So it changes. I don't have a favorite.
You have such a wide
Yes.
range. Like
Yes.
you're so
Yes.
versatile.
At some point, it was really baby rooms. Honestly, because I've actually had a documentary on a baby room set before.
Wow.
Because you'll be amazed as to, the thought that's put towards
Just
setting up a baby room.
that small.
And
That
the
small
emotional
room.
aspect
The emotional
of it as
aspect
well.
is because I'm a father. The safety of the baby, the mindset and the growing of the baby, the mental growth of the baby, with the shapes, the animals and stuff. It plays a huge role. So I used to enjoy it. And it was easy.
It came naturally to you.
It was easy. Other things could be challenging, but a baby room was usually easy.
That's interesting. For a man, actually.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you find inspiration? What inspires you?
When I think about inspiration, I remember when I was a child. I go back to when I was a kid. I was a child that you would usually arrange stuff around the house. I had to do quote-unquote OCD, or what they will call it, but I don't think I do.
No, that means you do. Because they never agree that they do.
I don't think I do. And so when I used to look up at the ceiling, I remember the suspended ceiling in our homes, and then I will now start to ball up papers and stuff to go with a shape I saw before. So I'm mostly inspired by shapes.
Interesting.
If I see, for instance, let me just give you, I don't mean to get into my mood. The lighting around here in this setup, what I'm thinking about now is to make a mirror of this shape.
Ooh. Wow.
So it's usually shapes.
Right.
Design is lines and shapes. That's what it is. Lines and shapes. So when you want to sketch it so far, it comes to you from what you saw somewhere. The reason I speak for a lot of designers is because we're all creatives. So I don't like to speak for myself alone. So I just tell you that's how designers, the really good designers, I just tell you that's how the inspiration comes from, lines and shapes and stuff. So it's broad. There's furniture, there's detailing, there's the decoration aspect of it. But in terms of interior details, furniture making, for me, the inspiration usually comes from anything I see. Shapes, lines, that could
So
be.
that makes it somewhat technical.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about drawing inspiration from shapes, it's no longer just ordinary, like, oh, okay, this looks good. It's more technical in that
It's a more technical thing.
Right.
It's more technical.
Now, speaking about the technicality, there was something you said earlier on that you were an interior decorator before you now became. Speak to that difference,
right?
Because a lot of people don't even know
the difference.
It's different.
Okay, so I wasn't officially an interior decorator. I was just good at it.
Right.
Right. So the difference between decoration and design is, with decoration, it's the finishing aspect of things. Right. It's the rugs, it's the drapes, it's the accents.
The vases.
Yeah, the vases. So that is styling an already designed space. Okay, it's the last bit of things on a project. So designing is from inception. That is choosing where the socket points go to. If you have a bed, you can't just have one socket point because you need two lamps. The distance has to be in accordance with your bed size. That's an interior designer's job. Interior designers deal with double volume, low volume ceilings. How low should the chandelier hang? And how would the chandelier last in the ceiling? If it's a POP ceiling, you have to run metals across it so it can hold. Those are interior designers' jobs. And interior designers work with developers, they work with architects. So those guys would never work with a decorator. A decorator may work with an interior designer, and then they also work independently. I don't want to knock this thing because there's a lot of work as well. So decoration is the last bit of things. So in other words, this is what I tell people: an interior designer would decorate, but an interior decorator will not design.
That's for my own knowledge. So I just learned something today.
So considering how broad your design experience has been, could you tell us your most exciting so far?
Many.
Well,
I'm going to choose the one I remember, but there are many. In as much as there are a lot of exciting moments that I've experienced, but I'm going to try and remember them. All right. I wish I can give you more.
No, you can. Okay, let's have more than one. We want to hear the stories. Okay. Yes.
I've designed a restaurant in Kano State before.
Kano.
Kano, as of 4 years ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of times the spotlight is on Lagos.
It's on Lagos.
Yes. And
now,
Abuja.
This is a friend. This is a group, a restaurant that had a branch in Lagos, and I was with the owner throughout the process because he was very supportive and was very happy that I agreed to come there with him. So we shared a hotel, and we usually go to sites. We'll come back to Lagos together, and then we'll just look at the city. And then I just realized that it was exciting. You know, it was actually cool. It was like spring weather. It was in March, and I don't have that. At the time I didn't have that much knowledge of exploring Nigeria.
Right.
So it was really nice to experience the people, another culture.
Different.
I'm just used to the places I've been. I know the Yoruba culture and I know the American culture. Those two things, yeah. And maybe a little bit of the Italian culture. Yeah. And then it's just, Nigeria is so beautiful that I was just happy to be home. Because this was at this, it was the beginning of my career as well.
Right.
And every day was an experience. Going to the local places. That was the first time I entered Keke Napep in my life. And
did you source locally as well?
We sourced locally. I went to the local market. They have good timber there.
Yeah.
And then I had to use the local artisans there. So it just made me understand the cultural
differences.
I could understand hiring artisans that I speak Yoruba to in Lagos is different from hiring artisans that I have to. So I was learning the language a little bit. It was exciting. Yeah. Other ones are the other excitement are people who just fly me to Milan, fly me to
whoosh, I like
keep
that.
me in hotels. That one is
so
exciting. It's just so different.
Yeah.
So
different sources of
Milan to decorate their
to source their stuff and bring
we can bring it back. Okay.
Although we have done projects out of country, done projects in the US, done projects in London.
Oh, nice.
Just like those two.
I'll come and intern with you, Sean. I'm potting.
I can't afford you. I can't afford you guys.
I need to move over.
So it's free of charge.
Free internship. So if you get my point is, it's two different sources of excitement.
Right.
There are many experiences, but I'm giving you how two different experiences can bring up the same excitement. I've been to countries that I didn't think clients would like to go and source stuff. And they would just pay and then I always act as if, oh yeah, this is normal for me. Every time I say, oh yeah, this is normal. I remember my first time, I said, oh please, you're gonna have to pay for I'm gonna have to pay for my transportation. I was speaking English. And I guess it comes with the job, show professionality and then prove yourself.
Sure.
And it was great. It was great.
Nice. So you've done out of the country, you've done within the country and out of your comfort zone. So tell me about your dream project. What would that look like? You may have even done it already.
I haven't. I wish I have. And I have done a lot of stuff, but I haven't done this one. Before I used to say I want to design for celebrities, but we've done that and it was just okay. It was just
in the bag.
But I really want to design an airport.
Really? Why? Why
First,
an airport?
Airports are one of my favorite spaces.
Okay.
Because I like high ceilings, I like huge spaces. I like that a lot of things are brought together and put in an airport, restaurants, saunas, all this stuff. I have a connection with airports. Besides the fact that the project is a big scope and profitable, it's somewhere people go to every day. And if I can put my name on, an airport, I'll be proud of myself. So every time I hear that, oh, Nigeria, they want to build a new terminal, my ears just
So we're putting it out there again. Nigeria needs it. We could do with a better looking airport.
They should allow me. I need to design and
I find airports to be stressful.
Oh really? I love airports.
Like the big ones, you go from one point, you're walking so much. And then I'm just always so mindful of time. We always fight. Like I'm like, please let's just get to
yeah, thank you.
I don't want to explore. I
You
just want to get
just
to
to get to your destination.
where
No.
my gate is, and I want to sit and wait.
I love airports so much that I can do a layover for a place I can easily take a one flight stretch to. Because I like to experience that country's airport. I like the shops. I like the coffee shops. I like the. I like even the announcements. They just make me know that okay, yes, I'm probably. I think it might be a therapeutic thing for me.
Oh yeah.
Being in airports.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's someone I know that said something like that. He just likes the airport and just sits down and people watch. Just watch people.
Yeah, just different people.
Back and forth. Yeah. Okay. That's
Not that
different.
we can understand that it can be stressful for some people.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah. Bottom line, I really want to design an airport.
Okay.
Design and execute an
Nice.
airport. That's my dream project. I haven't done it yet.
Okay. It will come.
Amen. Not God yet. Amen.
So, I mean, we already know you love baby rooms, nurseries. So,
Yeah,
apart
I like
from
nurseries.
that space in a home, what other space is your favorite place to design?
Walk-in closets.
Closets.
Yeah, walk-in closets. In a home, because everywhere else is okay. Living room. I'm not trying to knock all these spaces. Design is my passion, but I'm kind of deep. I'm weird when it comes to design. I go through the deeper stuff. I like walk-in closets because I could easily put anything there. It's like a sanctuary for me, especially if it's enclosed. So if you walk into a walk-in closet, it's almost as if you're in a retail store. I remember I like retail stores. So you can, and I've designed a closet that had a bed before because.
Wait, hold on.
A
bed?
Was that
A bed. No, from the client. The client said they wanted a bed and I embraced it. And then the bed was smaller than their master
Normal
bedroom
bed, right.
Now, the reason was this, because I've met all kinds of clients, name it. The reason was this: they wanted separate rooms. There were those kind of couples that wanted separate rooms. They now made the other room that was supposed to be the wife's bedroom a cinema, but the husband still wanted separate room. It was a big closet. There was a bed in there, and there was a U-shaped closet there with the island table with all this jewelry and stuff. And so I guess maybe when they argue, maybe it wants privacy or I don't. But it was a huge space, and then there was also a bed there.
Interesting. I mean, like.
There was always a bed there. It led to their salon, the barber shop.
Okay.
And there. So it had everything he wanted in his closet. This is not the reason why I like working closet. I just like.
Designing.
I like to design in the home. The place I pay more attention to when I'm supervising or
It's the closet.
I just go to the closet, the walk-in
Who would
closet.
have
Because it's one of the most
I
technical
would
places.
never
though.
have
Kitchens and
thought.
closets.
Okay, I was gonna say kitchen.
So a closet is a kitchen without a sink. And the equipment. Because what you do is you're making a U shape. It's boardwork. You have layers. So the compartments are just different. So match where you put cutlery to where you put jewelry. Match where you put plates to where you put ties. It's just a kitchen is a closet without a sink.
You're very deep.
I'm deep.
Very, very
if I start,
deep.
get me started. When it's designed like that, I just talk because I wasn't really good at other things in school. I wasn't good at math, science. This is what I do. I was really good at design in school. I graduated top of my class. So when they are talking about design, my mouth I just be talking.
Nice. Good stuff. So we have this segment where we do rapid fire questions and just this or that kind of thing. So we're just gonna ask you a few of those now.
Okay.
So lots of pillows or just one?
Lots of pillows.
Lots of pillows. High gloss finish or matte textured?
Matte.
Matte, right.
Matte.
Why not the gloss?
Okay, so for when I think of the finish, I'm not just talking about wood, I'm talking about metal as well. I just don't like shiny stuff.
But for us here, we like this shine.
I know.
Yeah.
So if you look at my social media, I don't post all my work. That is because the clients also come to my. I appreciate them. I do what they want, but we like to put our style out, advertise our style because we're comfortable in our style. So I don't matte
always, right?
Wood tones or metal accents?
It's tough.
No, you can't pass. You have to choose one.
I don't want my style to use this against me. Wood.
Wood is warmer.
So what ticked it for you? What made you?
I just went back memory lane and I just felt okay. I've always liked
Wood would always win.
Wood will always win. Wood will always
The
win.
grains, it's
And then the
warmer.
grains and then the variety.
Right.
The variety.
Vintage finds or modern pieces?
Modern pieces. Sorry, that shouldn't have taken me long. Modern pieces.
Right.
Functionality over aesthetics?
Or vice versa. Functionality first.
Functionality.
So you wouldn't sacrifice
I've
function
never
over
done that. That's
aesthetics.
against design.
Design code, right? So anything must be functional.
It has to be
Yes.
functional. I can't hang a chandelier over your head that's going to break your head one day. So if I know a chandelier is going to fall, if that weight does not work for that ceiling, I have to change it, even if it's a beautiful one. I have to give examples.
Right.
So yeah, functionality first.
Right.
You don't do one over the other. It's against design code.
A statement art piece or a gallery wall?
Statement art. Statement art.
So that one piece that just
That
stands
one
out.
piece that stands out. I like accent stuff. Like that one piece with a huge size. Yeah, I think I may be wrong, but I think gallery walls are just overwhelming.
They could be. Yeah. I think if it's not done properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not done properly, it has a way of just making the place cluttered somewhat. Yeah. The next question, I think you've answered it already.
No, I don't think so.
Curved lines or clean straight lines?
Curved lines.
Curved.
Curved lines.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. You're a shape. You're into
no,
shapes.
curved lines. I think no, straight get no. Yeah.
I like my clean straight lines though, personally.
Yeah, I mean, we have done it. You think you do what they tell you, do what they request. But when I'm designing my home or my office, or I want to first propose, if they didn't say anything, if the client hasn't said anything, and they just trust us and say, okay, go with, or I saw this that you did, you want something similar. Even with sofas, I don't like I like it, but I prefer
The curves. Right.
I like the curve on the,
Better. Okay, so one last thing before we go. Tell us your fail-proof design tip. Like, what's one thing your guiding principle all the time when you're designing?
There are a lot. I feel like you're taking me to.
Oh, okay, let's make it.
You're
this way.
taking me to.
So if you were going to give a design advice to maybe another designer, like or maybe someone who isn't even a designer, someone who is just trying to, set up their home nicely, what's one tip that you would advise that you would give?
All right, I'll choose one, because like I said, I like to just. You see, it goes back to the functionality, over aesthetic thing. You should design a safe space. That's like the biggest advice I would ever give anyone, because interior design is broad, and it's not just about putting chairs and tables and drapes. You should design a safe space from your M&E, which is the electrical and mechanical. It's one thing for a client to call you back and say, "Oh, I don't like the smell of this diffuser, or I don't like the position it is. Can you come and move it?" But when you're called, that's the socket blue, or the water is the pipe broke, because maybe you used the wrong pipes.
Yeah.
Those things, that speaks to your competence. And so, first, design a functional, safe space. Make sure that you pay a lot of attention to the background aspect of design, the onset. That's what makes you a really good designer, not the
shine.
not a really good designer. Because if it lasts, just execute long-lasting projects, execute long-lasting pieces, both with furniture and details and the onset. Just that's my advice. Other things can follow,
but that's first.
That's where your integrity lies. That's where your skill set really lies.
Right.
So designers are like doctors who save your lives.
Thank you so much. We've had an amazing time chatting with you. Thank you so
Likewise.
much.
Likewise.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us again on Design Diaries with LSA Home. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Take care. Bye.